Today, I'm here with Dan Desveaux and we're going to walk through one of his flips here in Northeast Sarnia. So, let's go guys.
Guess 20 to 25% more of what you think your renos are going to be, because there's always stuff that comes up. We don't want any small rooms in modern houses now. We want everything as wide and as open as we can. This kitchen is going to be $15,000. This is a nice home in a nice area, so we want to spend at least $15,000 on the kitchen. So we're going to make this into a great room, but every great room needs a bathroom. So this is what we're doing in here. We're going to install a new bathroom in this section here. Purchase price. You cannot mess up your purchase price. That's the most important number in this whole thing. Time is your enemy, so you want that thing to be gone.
We're walking through a $100,000 renovation project that Dan Desveaux is currently working on. Adam Martin from my team caught up with him, walked through the property. They do a proper number breakdown showing exactly Dan's expected profit from this flip opportunity. Really cool project, and again, just another great example of real people taking real action and getting real results. Thanks to Dan for doing this video, and let's jump into it.
All right, what's up YouTube? I stole the camera today from Matt McKeever because he is out of country. I wonder what he's doing. We're gonna find out in another video, but today I'm here with Dan Desveaux and we're gonna walk through one of his flips here in Northeast Sarnia. So let's go guys.
Awesome, let's do this. All right, welcome to my flip in Sarnia, Ontario. All right guys, so the front entrance there, you can see we have this nice mudroom. I'm not too crazy about this these glass doors they put in, so that's gonna come out. Normally in the old days they'd have lots of small rooms. We don't want any small rooms in modern houses now. We want everything as wide and as open as we can. They say that the more you can see from the front to the back, the more you're gonna get paid for the house. So we wanna have as many open rooms as we can. So this is gonna go. We have a nice open space here. Another thing that's modern homes don't have dining rooms anymore. Not the massive ones do, but the small to mid-sized houses, there is no dining rooms anymore. So this house, there's enough room for a dining room. This fireplace is going. It's in a weird place anyway, but so this, what we're gonna have is an island here. This used to have a wall here. We took the wall out. We shrunk that room there. We got rid of a bedroom. That's another thing that's in these a lot of these houses. They have just too many bedrooms. We don't need that many bedrooms nowadays, so we got rid of one of the bedrooms on the main floor. We increased the size of the bathroom, and we also increased the size of the kitchen. So now we have a great modern home, and we're going to put 2 bedrooms down in the basement. But upstairs here, we just have 2 nice-sized bedrooms that work. So there'll be an island here. Islands are really popular these days in newer homes. And we can just have like a kitchen kind of nook there. If the kids want to sit around there, they can sit at the island. That's what's going to be here. And we have a big L-shaped kitchen. And when you come in the front door, everything is open. That's what people want. Okay, let's look around back here. Okay, so like I said, this was a bedroom. So it didn't make any sense to have a small bedroom. It was only a couple more feet wider. Who wants a small bedroom like that? Now we have a massive bathroom, which is what everybody wants, and a bigger kitchen. I'm going to go this way here, but now we did the exact same thing here, right? There used to be a wall right there. Again, small bedroom. Nobody wants a small bedroom. So we got rid of that wall. We increased it by 4 feet, plus now we have a nice closet. We have a little closet here and a closet there, much nicer. Okay, so this is one of the bedrooms. This would be the master. This bedroom over here. See, check this out. So now you get, by eliminating that one room, bigger bedroom, bigger bathroom, bigger kitchen, right? So you're gonna get a lot more money for this house because now it makes sense. A lot of people will come in, families will look at this and they'll go, you know what, this is not big enough for me, I'm out of here. Now we have big bedrooms. Okay, let's go check out the basement.
All right, what's up YouTube? I'm here today with Dan Desveaux and we're gonna walk you through this flip that he bought in mid-December here in the northeast corner of Sarnia, Ontario. And today, Dan's gonna rock us through these numbers and give you guys an idea of how a flip works. And he's a pro, so listen up.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for having me do this for you, Adam.
Problem.
Okay, we're going to start right from the top here. So PP, purchase price. You cannot mess up your purchase price. That's the most important number in this whole thing. You can't mess up your purchase price. You got to buy right, and once you buy right, you have nothing to worry about from there on in. But if you buy wrong, it's going to be a nightmare. So let's start with purchase price. This particular house, I paid $260. Is actually a pretty good. It's actually a very good deal in this area, in this market in Sarnia. So paid $260. My rental costs are going to be around $100. You know, when you're first starting out, always I would guess 20 to 25% more of what you think your rentals are going to be, because there's always stuff that comes up. Now I just know this number in my head. I'm thinking mine was actually going to be about 75, 80, but we're going to say 100 because that's what I'm expecting. Okay, ARV. I should be able to sell this house around 450. The market's really strong right now, and this particular house is going to be done in the spring, so it's going to be the best time to put this thing on the market.
So let's talk real quick about how you spend 100 grand in this house. You guys are going to see a walk through this house. It's probably 1,500 square feet, maybe a bit less. Well, it's in around 15, would you say?
It's, yeah, about that, yeah.
So, something like 1,500 square feet. So I want to know how you're spending 100 grand in here. What are we doing? What are we going to focus on?
Okay, so...
Are these thematic to all of your flips? Let's go through...
Yeah,
so renovations.
So you get I've been doing this for years now, and you start to get you do napkin numbers once you get good at this. Yeah. But at the beginning, you need a very itemized, detailed list of every single thing. Nowadays, I can just go through the house, and I know that the furnace and air is $5,000. I know that the wiring, if it's just a light wiring, it's going to be $5 grand. This particular house, we have to change the panel and do a fair bit of wiring, so it's going to be about $10,000. Yep. So we just start adding up these little things. Kitchen is going to be $15,000. This is a nice home in a nice area, so we want to spend at least $15,000 on the kitchen. Nice. We're going to spend about $3,000 to $4,000 on appliances, and it's just a matter of having a list, and you just check it off, check it off, and then, like I said, now I'm used to this now, so I can just kind of go and add it up on my little on my phone even, and just say, you know, we're changing most of the windows here. Typical house where you're changing all the windows would be about 10 grand. Yep. This one here, we're not changing all the windows, we're changing most of them, so I'm guessing 7,000, right? So we're not, I don't do itemized lists anymore, right down to the penny. Yep. You know, I'm getting pretty good at this now, so I can just do that. But
and I assume you're going to do flooring and...
Yeah, flooring, you know, you got to say it's $4 a square foot, yep. Right? You just, so how we're going to spend 100 grand here, I'll put a new roof on. We need, you know, like I can go through everything. We painted the outside. You know, the painting the inside is going to cost me $7,000. Wow. It's just a matter of just going doot down the list. Yep. And that's what I did on this one. And like I said, I'm on my list. It's 75, but I know it's going to end up 100. Sure. Right. So add that 25% buffer, and then.
And then I assume that follows you down here, and when we start getting into the numbers for borrowing, you're not only going to look at borrowing your 75, right? You're going to anticipate that inflated cost or potential scope creep and all those things that can happen to you on this end, and then probably borrow a bit more. Am I right?
Yeah. So, well, for me now, I have money that I can use. I have my own money. I have my own reserve. Nice. If something goes wrong, I have my own reserve. But if you're just starting out in this, you definitely want to over borrow. Yeah. Right. You could always give the money back, but you don't want to go to your lender halfway through the job and go, you know what, I need another 30 or I need another 40, or even worse than that is to say I need another 20. Yeah. Then spend the 20. Yeah. And a month later say I need another 20.
I actually needed 20 more.
Yeah, you're gonna look like you don't know what you're doing.
And when we look at the cost of borrowing, when it's amortized in this way, when we're looking at flips like Dan's doing, you know, a project that's going 6 months is probably middle of the road to even slightly longer. So borrowing $20,000 or $30,000 more, your actual cost of borrowing is almost nothing on that. That's $2,000 to $3,000 at those amounts for that amount of time, right? So
Yeah, it's better to have the buffer. It's better to have the buffer. Yeah, if it costs you an extra $2 or $3 grand to have that buffer, it's well worth it, especially when you're starting out. For sure, you have to keep track of this stuff. And also you want to keep track of your carrying costs. A lot of times you think it's only going to take 3 or 4 months and it takes 6. You got to have that extra buffer there as well.
For sure. So, okay, we bought it for $260, $100,000 renovation. It's going to be worth $450 in that reno. So I heard there we got a roof coming, kitchen, flooring. I see we've changed some layouts here. We've got a big beam over me. Some windows are getting changed. Baseboards are obviously ripped off.
Full basement. So right now it's we can call it an unfinished basement because it was paneling down there. Paneling and not very good insulation. We have about a 400 square foot sort of family room. It used to be the garage and they've converted it and they did a bad job converting it. So I have to rip it all out and redo it. So that's another probably 10,000-15,000 there. And a full basement. Full basement is usually close to 40 if you want to do a good job on a basement. So my renovations, like I said, I've got it pegged.
So your actual square footage here is going to be a lot more finished and nice.
Yeah, so we don't have a garage, so that's not the best thing when you know, but I've already calculated that. This number here would be 500 to 550 if I had a garage. But it doesn't make sense to spend 50 on a garage to make 50 because time is your enemy here. So you just want to, right? If I can sell this thing for sure at 450 and just get out, that's what I'm going to do.
I love it. So let's talk about time is your enemy. Let's walk us through some of this carrying cost and cost of borrowing.
Okay, so your carrying cost is all your typical stuff, your insurance, your electrical, your gas, your all those things that come with carrying a property. Everybody knows what that's like, all the normal payments that you would have. That doesn't count your cost of borrowing, obviously. So your cost of borrowing, typically if you can get a good money lender, the average, I'd probably say the average is 10 to 15. I've been doing this for years and I've created some really good relationships now, and I'm a proven commodity now, so I'm at the 10% range. And I'm not paying points either. So points is a lot of times when you're first starting out, a lender is going to lend you 100 grand, 10%, but they'll always want a 1 or 2 points to make the deal. They'll say it's just a fee, to a lender's fee. Get out of that lender's fee thing as soon as you can because those will add up. If you do 10 flips a year.
Well, they add up, but they're also front loaded typically, right? So now that 2%, you're not paying that amortized over your 6 months or even at the end where you're getting paid as the flipper. So that's important for Dan is when he's getting paid, right? He's got this massive outlay as it's all happening. But the challenge is now when you start paying those finder's fees or those points up front, you're paying that up front with your purchase price. So you're paying with your down payment, then all of a sudden you're getting hit by these lender's fees. And again, you're not getting paid now for another 6 months. So you're taking that actually out of your cash that you would have available for your renovation. So
that's right. Another one too is now my lender wants me to pay as I go. So if you can convince your lender to do a balloon payment at the end, that's great. But typically lenders don't like to do that because they want to know that you're managing your project properly and you want to pay as you go. And it mitigates the risk because if you're paying a little bit as you go, if something goes sideways at the end, at least they got some of their money back. But so I'd pay as I go. It doesn't matter to me.
And when you guys are trying to pitch for this too, something to consider is a lot of the time what those lenders are trying to avoid is their actual cost of capital. So a lot of these lenders may be lending to you from a line of credit, from some other source where they're actually paying an amount on that. It might be small, 3 or 4%. So they want your payment to actually mitigate their principal risk, which is what Dan's talking about, but also to service some of their debt as well, because they might be ripping out of a home equity line of credit. They're only paying 3-4%, but they still have to service that every month because the bank's not waiting 6 months for their payments, right? They want their payment today. So if you're going to be pitching people on this, you might want to consider some of those things as you're bringing this up to your lender. Hey, you might have carrying costs here. You may be incurring costs. I'd love to pay you that cost of that over this loan. So maybe we can even get away with only paying them that 3 or 4% for them to service their debt, and then I'm going to give you your other points on the back end.
That's a great point.
There you go, Dan.
That's a great point. Yes, I like that. Okay, so your cost of borrowing's in here. So you're borrowing monthly. So for this particular deal, I'm borrowing my purchase price plus renos. That's another thing. A lot of lenders don't do that. I have security now because I have a portfolio. So I can tell my lender, listen, let's put some security on my house or whatever, and they'll lend me that extra money. So I borrowed the $260, plus I borrowed the reno money. Now we got $360 here. So if we take that monthly, this is going to end up, it's costing me $3,000 a month. That seems like a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of things, when you look at the profit you're going to make, you got to forget about what you're putting out. You got to remember at the end of the day what you're going to possibly make at the end. So this $3,000 a month times, let's say this reno is going to be 6 months, which is typical what happens is 6 months. It's going to cost me $18,000. You got to remember when you're selling this thing, the realtor's got to get their money. You can sell, that's a whole separate conversation about trying to sell it yourself. And once you've been doing this a long time, you just say, you know what, I just sell it.
Well, and this isn't your specialty, right?
Exactly.
You are not a realtor, nor should you necessarily aspire to be a realtor when you could just be focusing on getting that next deal, getting the next project going. And also, most likely, these realtors, if they are doing a good job, they're adding 5% hopefully to your resale. And we've already kind of discussed that we're actually in a premium neighborhood. So this is an area where you're going to want that realtor support, I think, for the marketing and all that other stuff. Like, you can't be wasting your time on that.
Time is your enemy, so you want that thing to be gone. So it's worth it to pay the money and just get it over with. And you can also try to negotiate a better deal with your real estate agent, but usually the best are not going to want to negotiate, and if they do, then they might not get the same service. Just pay the 5%. It's worth it. So okay, so we started at $260. We got 100 in renos. We're going to sell at $450 after all the carrying cost of borrowing and the selling. We're looking at somewhere around a net profit of $45,000 if all goes well. You know, once you've been doing this for years, you know, this number shouldn't be that much difference. It's plus or minus, say, 10%.
Yep.
But make sure that your purchase price is right, and you should be okay.
I love it. Now, Dan, why don't you talk to us really quickly? It doesn't need to be CPA advice, and this certainly isn't, but tell us just briefly about your taxes, because we get a lot of these comments. I know a lot of you are thinking right now about the flipping business. How do we avoid the taxes, or how do we pay less taxes? Is there taxes? What happens when you sell that in 6 months? Because don't I have to pay capital gains? What do I do here?
Well, the best one is the live-in flip. That's zero tax.
That's the best.
Right, so that's the best. So I would...
Not if you want to scale.
Yeah, so I for all the newbies out there who want to get into flipping, I highly recommend to just buy a house, renovate it yourself, live in it, and then sell it. That is 100% the best way to go, because if it turns into a disaster, you're living there, that's the cheapest way to get out of that mess. Yep. If you try one of these and you make a mistake, you might be done. I would just recommend buying a house, living it, and that's how I did my first house. Actually, mine was a rent-to-own. Yep. I did a rent-to-own, fixed it up, and then sold it. It took me 3 years, but hey, that's how I got started. Tax-wise, for if you flip this in your, the next best thing is to have your business in a corp. If you're thinking about doing this full time, I would highly recommend that you set up a corp, and that way this is gonna be active income, okay, in your corp. Any properties that you own in your portfolio are gonna be taxed as passive income. This is gonna be active income. You're gonna be in the, I think it's 13% now. It was 15.
It is 13.
It's 13% now.
Yep.
So that's where you wanna be. And then the last one would be to flip it in your personal name. You can do it if you want, but you're gonna get taxed at the maximum there, depending on where your tax bracket currently is. You have to remember that all that profit is gonna be taxed at your personal level. So.
Yeah, that's exciting. If you guys need advice or help on taxes, we always use Mitt CPA. He's out of Toronto. He does all of our taxes for us. He can set your corporate structures up for you. This is really cheap and actually really simple when you have the right professionals working for you. I think I paid $800 to have mine set up. So it's not some crazy big expense that's reserved for only the best in the business. But there are also advantages if you're not actually looking to flip. There's a lot of advantages to holding your properties personally if you are going to do long-term buy and holds. So again, talk to the right accountants, make sure that they own real estate, make sure that they own more real estate than you. That's a great practice for everybody in your power team. That goes for mentors, that goes for your professional services, but you certainly want to have an accountant on your team. They're a mainstay in your business if you're going to be a professional about it. So awesome, Dan, let's do a walkthrough.
Awesome. Okay. So moving down below here, so this used to be the garage. What they did was they framed in the garage. Okay, you can see right here. This is where that's where the front door of the garage was down here, and they made this into a family room, which makes a lot of sense, right? Because this is where you're sending all the kids. Kids, get out of here, go do something, and they can hang out in here. What we're going to do is we're going to make this into a great room, but every great room needs a bathroom. So this is what we're doing in here. We're going to install a new bathroom in this section here. The roof was rotted everywhere, so we had to take a bunch of joists out, change some joists up there. We framed in the bathroom here. Now we have a nice sized bathroom, not just a little two pieces. Actually, we're going to put a shower in here. Again, the teenagers, hey, you guys stay on that side of the house. Mom and Dad want to be over here. So now we have a nice sized bathroom with a nice shower down there. This is a nice little family room or a kid room. They can get out of here. And then we still have a basement to go. So let's go check out the basement. All right, so we walk right into the laundry room. We're going to leave everything the way it is here. There's no sense in changing. The layout here is actually good. We're just going to leave things the way they are here. And then follow me. What we're going to do, the changes we're going to do down here, we have nice high ceilings. So let's make some bedrooms in here. So these walls were already here, but what they had was it was just like a basement that was just cut in two. So why don't we make this, have the best of both worlds. We'll have two bedrooms there, two nice sized bedrooms, and then we have this nice space for your basement, and we still have a third room over there, which is your office or den that you can use, or even another bedroom if you wanted to. And so that's your basement. There's your cold room. And yeah, this is going to be a great flip. I'm looking forward to getting this one done. These are the nice easy flips that you like. You know, we're not ripping plaster off. We are rewiring everything, but it's not one of those big horrible gut jobs. This is just a nice flip that, you know, any flipper would like to do. So really looking forward to this one. Hey everybody, this is Dan Desveaux in Sarnia, Ontario. I'm so glad that you took a tour of this house with me. And if you want to reach me, anybody wants to reach out to me, you can find me on social media. Dan Desveaux, just punch in Dan Desveaux and you can find me anywhere on social media. Thanks again. Hope you guys have a great day.
Thanks again to Dan for taking the time to break down the numbers on this great flip in Sarnia, Ontario. If you guys want to see more Dan, check out the playlist up here. If you guys want more Matt McKeever, check out this playlist. Otherwise, until next time, remember, making money is a team sport. There's more than enough money in this world for us to all make it, but if you're not saving it, I mean, like, what's the point, guys? Thanks. Bye.